Here's your emergency team live from Stockholm, saving your Wednesday evening. Supermatics, Toby, Emmy, G-Runner bringing you all the action from GLL's Nations Royale. We saw Turkey just winning 2-0 over the Arctic nations, the Adriatic nations. And now we're getting ready to see Toby's team lose against Finland. It's Denmark.
Yeah. Honestly, it could happen. We talked about it yesterday as well. Finland is a very good team. Not only in this format, but just in general. Like in representation in the PUBG scene, very, very talented players come out of Finland. And that's going to be a tough task. I mean, sure, we are in the quarterfinals, so
everyone's
would be expected that every match is going to be one. But I'm hoping, of course, Denmark will make it to the finals. Come up here this weekend. Wreck everyone.
We'll see if Toby is still that excited, energetic after the match. Bring up the players that will play for their countries, representing Team Denmark and Team Finland. Are these beautiful 32 people per side.
32 at that. You see the team of Denmark. On the left, a lot of people with competitive experience as well. Avenger in there, I see 23 caster. Most of you guys probably know at this point. A lot of players in their stab. Formerly played for Cloud9. Very talented player. Fausto, I guess you can say retired competitive PUBG player, but has the chance to represent his team here. And then on the eastern side, you got Mise, you got Sampula from Great People Only, Tuho Yuho in there as well. A lot of talented players. Andy, of course, Mr. Captain himself, Mr. Andy Pyro, sitting in slot number 18. Page from Sukdenam, Coyote, Vasco. This list just goes on. Very, very scary Finnish team.
And bootyless, obviously, on the side of Denmark.
Bootyless.
Bootyless.
Bootyless?
I know it says bootless, but I think it should be bootyless. Fapster, that's a name that is familiar to me. Same for, obviously, Mukke, player 32 on the Finnish side. Pretty sure that I saw him in the Wingman series.
Could be, yeah.
If I'm not mistaken, which was like a Pony. I mean, I know Pony and John Quick, they played the ponies in Wingman, so I'm pretty sure I saw Mukke as well.
Could be.
Along these people. But it's not Wingman. Has nothing to do with duos. Instead, it's 32 versus 32. You probably guessed that from the player list you just saw. And that means you need completely new strategies to actually be victorious here on our maps. Talking about maps, we obviously should know them. And what is the prize? Both teams thought they're best on Erangel. At this point, I want to talk to the whole community and all nations involved in this. Maybe if you think you're the best at Erangel, and everyone else thinks the same, that they're the best on Erangel, it might be time to check out other maps.
But you want to be the best, though. And in order to be the best, you have to beat them all. So
yeah,
you cannot just start doing other stuff. Then you give up.
No, you could also just practice Vikendi and Sandhawk.
Well, that's what they're doing. If not, then they wouldn't
Vikendi is third
right?
map, though.
Yeah,
but just imagine it will be Vikendi decider, Sandhawk as second. Then you can take the series.
Yeah, true.
Because the problem with Erangel is, if you think you're the best team on Erangel, but you're not, and the team you're playing with is,
the other one.
then it's already 2-0 before you can even try another map.
True.
So I think right now it might be better to just choose a different map, because Erangel will be played nonetheless. Probably.
Yeah. You can say that all you want, but I don't think that's going to be the case. I mean, everyone favoring Erangel, and that's a good reason.
I mean, what should I say? I love Erangel as well. So
yeah, exactly.
I just wanted to say there are other maps available.
Yeah, there are 3 more, only 2 accessible with us right now. And this time around, no Sanok, no Sandy Dunes, but indeed we will go to the, I guess not so much Danish, but maybe more Finnish kind of related terrain of Vikendi. Hills,
that's the plan here?
snow. Yeah, they want their home field advantage. I can tell. Could be.
Obviously, for that we would actually need to hit third map. So
yeah, true. No snow on Erangel. One thing though, and we've said this earlier. I've said this earlier. Tips with Toby. I'll say it again because I have not come up with a new tip yet.
Time for tips with Toby.
Not tip number 2 yet because
Last time no one
I've not come up. Yeah, exactly. Send people military, because if it goes there and you're not there, you lose.
That's the new tip, because that was
no. I'm saying I haven't come up with a new one, so it's a repeat of the previous tip. Go military. Tip number 2: listen to your leader and do things quickly, because it's. I mean, you might have a better idea, and it's always like that when you have multiple people having to sort of agree on something, right?
Sure. Yep.
It's always like that. You might not necessarily completely agree with the guy saying, go over there, when he just said, but there's like 15 million people there. We should go this way instead. Don't start arguing. Just do what he says, because more often than not, even though it might not be the best idea, if you all do it together, it tends to actually work out anyway.
And sometimes you need to sacrifice part of the team before you can actually set up for a
Yeah,
win.
yeah.
That's another thing,
So
right?
go over and get your leader killed, and then
it's probably one of the hardest things for these guys to do. Because
Yeah.
they used to be in a squad of 4 or duo,
Yeah.
which means you're not sacrificing anyone. You need the strength of the team. But here, as we just saw with Turkey versus the Adriatic nations, if Adriatic nations should have went for that flanking attack, maybe sacrifice 2-3 players, but get that distraction and entry point they needed.
I actually talked to Spreezy, the captain
you
for
did?
their team, afterwards, and he wrote to me because he tweeted out something like, "We had some very interesting rotations today," and then it was like, "Yeah, what happened with that? We have a good flank going. Let's go over and expose it." The team misunderstood what mountain to go to. The first 3 vehicles, the rest of the team followed them. So clearly, communication is super important. And if you have that red arrow that everyone has to follow, and you shoot in the wrong direction, your entire team runs in the wrong direction too. So communication has to be on point with the megaphone or whatever you use to really communicate out to all the team members.
It's just important to see that in this case, you're part of a greater plan, which means sometimes you might be in a disadvantage. It's not if your team leader says, go there and do that, and you, as you said already, you're like, that might not be a good idea, but in the greater plan, it's probably a great idea.
Maybe there's a purpose. Maybe there's a purpose.
You might go into a disadvantage there with a smaller group, but it creates a huge advantage for the rest of your nation. But due to us being players, like we're all that, right? We're all like, no, I don't want to die because I need to make the kills, right?
Gotta take it for the team, guys.
That's it, and then we all tend to do whatever puts us in the better place, which might put the nation in the worst place.
We have not seen this yet, but could we have a mutiny in the middle of a game where just clearly everyone runs away from the captain, like, no, mutiny, and then start running the opposite direction? Like pirate ship all over again?
Already.
Could have been, yeah, could have been. Maybe if the captain goes down early, another guy will go over, like, take his banner and be like, I'm the captain. No, I'm the captain. And that's when you see the team kills.
Yeah, but there's obviously no Excalibur that can be drawn out of a stone and then you rain across
we do have AWMs, though. Golden AWMs.
Yeah, I'm fine with that.
Golden AWMs, that would be the closest to an Excalibur. We could probably
if you have that, you rule over
you rule Erangel.
Erangel. Yeah.
At least for your team. But nonetheless,
for everyone.
Game has started, and before we start, last fun fact of the day, because that's the only one I could find. Despite the fact that in a landmass thing, Finland is about 10 times bigger than Denmark, there's actually more people living in Denmark than there is in Finland. Huh.
Is it because it's not about me judging Finland now, since I've never been to Finland. I've been to Denmark and I've been to Sweden. Is it more like it's the better place to live? Is it?
Finland than Denmark? Or
the statistics say that Denmark is the...
I didn't get to that statistic. I only saw the first one, and I was like, that's funny, we'll use that one.
Like, I don't really want to work too much. It should just look like I actually prepared.
What I do want to say, though, is kudos to all these people, because the value of military has been shown. Andy clearly said to his team, guys, go military. I'm going there. You guys are going here to help me out as well. Nixty, Mass, they're saying, oh, well, you know what? Let's just give them the base. We can just go out west or east, and then we'll contain them in there should it come to it. But the thing is, and the reason we see all these people going here is because we've now twice in 2 days seen the importance of if the circle goes military and you're not there, it's practically a game lost.
The difference here is, once again, squad and duo tactics versus Nations Royale.
Yeah.
Because not having military in a squad game, it's not that crazy, right? You might face a 4-man barricade, but there will be other ways. But here, you might force a 32 barricade, which we saw yesterday.
Exactly.
And that's a completely different story, and that might basically finish your game before you're even close to be finished.
They'll put 10 guys on each bridge, and the last 10 they'll scatter around to give info if the boats are coming from the sides. There's just nothing you can do. Circle has popped, though, and well, seeing how people run around, seems like it won't be military. Well, it could be military, but at least for now, it's not. But the one thing that is for sure is that these players are very, very scattered, sort of around one another.
Way bigger mix-up than we had in previous matches in terms of where to find different colors.
They've clearly sort of picked the priority area off the map, not knowing the circle, of course, because if you do know it, well, then you just drop where it is. But not knowing where the circle is, that military spot is the most valuable. And, well, I mean, there's a chance I could go there, but odds say no.
Yeah, I really don't expect it here, but you never know.
Always expect the unexpected in
That's
PUBG.
it.
Now,
but that basically means that you expect it, and then it's not unexpected.
Yeah. For Jumbo, though, and for the other boys here, the question is, do they know that Beamy is in this house? They're clearly Jumbo was waiting for the last couple of players, and they're going together, and it seems to me that they have some sort of an idea that there's a player inside. He's standing very still now, trying to not reveal his position, and Vamus is coming up as well behind, but he might just be in for a rough one.
Oh, the first attack here already. That is super early in the game. 3.5 minutes in. Beamy, he's really going for it. He's like running out. There's a chance for a kill. I want the first one. Get an energy drink done before. Yeah, we got a bit of time. Maybe, no, just waiting for a grenade.
I mean, right now, all he's doing is buying himself time. He has Vamus down south, and he could potentially have more people coming in to help them out. I don't think they have anyone this close. That could be a sort of an immediate assistance, but also for Jonathan and Timo and Jumbo, they have to figure if it's really going to be worth it to try and go for this, because they do not know exactly how many people are in and around here, because Vamus clearly just caught them off guard.
Yeah, interesting, though, that there was no knock coming out of that situation, because that would look potentially like a very, very early knock, similar to what we saw in Turkey versus the Adriatic nations.
Could have been.
There is a beautiful boat. This one is up for sale, by the way. It's 350,000 euros.
That's not that expensive.
You need a crew of just one, just the captain, and he will happily drive you, boat you around, since driving is not a thing. Like, do you drive a boat?
I think
it's also not really sailing.
They tend to sail.
Yeah, but it has no sail.
No, but it's
a motorboat.
On the water.
Motorboat.
You drive a boat on the water?
Yeah, or you boat.
You don't motorboat a boat. That's weird.
Boat a boat?
Yeah.
But you drive a car, but you're not car.
Then you start speaking Australian instead of boat. I don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah. Yeah, we're not going that way.
Nope.
This is the European.
This is not the OCE version. It's the European one. And with that, of course, first of all, glad to see all players on. We have had some teams with 30, 31 players. But this time around, 64, they know the importance of connecting to the server because, of course, there's a lot on the line. The winning team here will go to the finals. We've already sent Turkey into the one of the final 4 spots, and the winner of this one will go up against them.
Blumens here. On your screen, that is a man that had a beautiful flank yesterday.
Yeah.
No, was it yesterday? No,
2 days ago.
Monday.
Yeah.
Monday. He was flanking, actually got 3, I think. 3 or 4
Yeah,
out of
Blumens
that.
with an assist of 2, 3 other players. They made their flank all the way around the north to try and get some info. Mocha here, though, he's in a he's in a position where he can see a lot of people, but should he be seen, it's gonna be tough because there's not really a whole lot of cover. Yeah, there's not a whole lot of cover here.
Not really, though, unless you're really small. Or you can lay flat.
This whole structure is also in Chernobyl, by the way. The entire radar thingy there. It's tall. It's really tall. Yeah,
but you can't get on top unless you land on it.
Yeah, and you cannot get on it either because there's no stairs in the real one.
Just imagine he could go all the way up.
Yeah, you probably could. I mean, like all those videos you see on YouTube with people crawling on buildings and stuff. There are probably people that have been up there. But it's not recommendable and it's extremely dangerous, so do not do anything.
Yeah, sometimes people get really creative when it comes to that. Oh, Connect Blooms, he will go with Jacob. They're all heading to the beach.
Yeah, they go for the
there
boats.
Is a landing squad already that wants to cross the river, like the...
This is going to be dangerous, because Jacob clearly, well, first of all, he heard the shots fired, but he's also seen the guys. And this, I mean, if they can catch them off guard while they're trying to accelerate with the boat, that could be a lot of kills for Denmark here.
I mean, that boat is definitely not quick enough, right?
Oh,
there we go.
Just
he got the look.
There was a bigger chance of him hitting a player than not, because there were 4 targets right next to one another. And look at all the shots fired and all the damage coming in now as well. 1 boat explosion here would be 4 players killed for Finland.
No one even dropped. Seems like Diggory and his friends, they will make it onto the other side. They're going strong.
There are people waiting, though.
Waiting for them on the other side. There's nowhere to go for them because there's fire from basically every single side.
Yeah, this ain't gonna be good, that is for sure. It's smoking, the smoke is only getting darker now. They're all jumping out like mad people. Beam is jumping over to the AK instead, gets the explosion, but no kills just yet. And all of a sudden he had the advantage, but now he'll be peeking 4 guys that are ready to shoot back, and he has to disengage. A smart decision, honestly, from Beamy not to overextend that.
Yes, it can easily trap you, right? Because you think like, I had the chance, I now want those kills.
Gotta feel bad for Mocha,
and then you overcommit to something, and then you might come out.
Yeah, Mocha didn't catch the boat.
Mats Rex and Mocha, yeah.
He overslept. He overslept and missed the time on the boat there.
Oh, yeah. I mean, there's still that bridge. You can walk. There might be there's probably no buggy around anymore.
But they did. I mean, you gotta give kudos to the This is really scary too, right? Because it's not like there are just one squad that can spot you, maybe. This is like you have to find your way out of this with so many people around you. But I gotta give credit to Finland, because they just did what I would expect, if not everyone, then most people to do in these situations. Because sure, they could have lost those 3 players, but with the chance of the circle going down to military, I think that risk would have been well worth it.
Beanie and Sprint is still shooting at Andy Pyro on his group. So Diggory, Andy Pyro, that Andy obviously, as you said, the general already of the Finnish side. But no Nox is basically just making people aware, hey, we're willing to shoot you. And if there's a chance for us to take a fight, we do. We see on the northern side, though, just below School in Ruins, the first bigger movement of a Finnish squad.
And Finland has also taken control of the western side of the bridge. You see Spicy and bad swear word. I would say badass. I guess I say badass. That's not a swear word, right?
Bad booty.
Bad booty.
Bad booty. That's where we go.
Up against bad bootyless. They're just driving over without a care in their life. Like no scouting at all right now. And bootless, you're in for a rough one here.
Oh,
That being
not
forced
knocking
they can
anyone
connect
off
the
that.
shot.
Oh, wow. I expected way more out of this
Yeah,
trap than
that was,
what they just delivered.
That was surprising. Was not expecting them to be allowed to survive. And somehow them saying, you know what, they missed the first one, they will probably miss the second one too. And
They did.
somehow.
Wow.
I mean, honestly, when you have a VSS and an SLR, it's not the best combination for taking down
Yeah.
vehicles early on. That 9mm doesn't do that much damage to them.
But still surprising
But the
that they
fact
managed
that,
without a single drop.
no people dying. That was what we would call a failed bridge camp.
Can happen.
The idea was good. I mean, the idea was really good. It just was not really executed
I was
as well as you
wondering
wanted
if they
it
was
to be.
really planning on this, because if so, then yes, this was slightly unsuccessful.
But that's also
Or if
what
they
you...
were just happened to be in that place.
That's
and then
also
hit
what you
someone.
got to deal with as a captain, right? You just put them down, you give them the order, you tell them exactly what to do, and sometimes those commands, despite trying to be executed, just do not work. And then you have to figure, what do we do then? 'Cause,
Basically every day at the office.
sure. I don't know. I don't work from an office.
You don't work for an office.
I don't work from an office. Waggy Jackie, though, down early. That's the captain for Denmark. And, well, let's see how many people go dedicated to try and rest him. Vasco obviously smiling a little out of the finish off, or the knockoff at least, of him. And is that like the old
This
days?
is just so mixed. Wherever we go with the camera, we see both sides, which is
they're
completely new to us.
entangled.
Yeah.
Yeah, they have put each other into joint forces
it
in one
because-
big web.
Is it because their flags are so close to each other? Look, I mean, it's basically the same flag, right? Just with
Yeah.
different colors.
Danish flag, just different colors. Yep.
I think that's why they like to mix up.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
It's nearly the same flag anyway, guys. Why?
There are a lot of countries that does this flag, I can tell you. Ronnie Crane,
Oh, true.
you're in trouble. You're in a lot of trouble. But at least for now,
Yeah, but Coyote, look at that. He was
dead.
jumping so Sikora could actually spot him. Easy.
And these 3 guys have all played in the same team as well for a long time. So expected to see them be able to have the
By
communication.
the way, that was entry frack. But they get another one immediately. Ison also falls to Fibbery.
Yeah.
So that's 2 kills already for Finland. Denmark is down 2, but I think Vasco might face a bit
Yeah.
a bit of a tough challenge here going up there.
Greedy.
Bootless, everyone is up there. Unless he can really... Oh, he got some support behind him, yeah. Diggory,
Yeah.
they're all there. So it depends on how far away they're looking, right? They were
Task
actually
Force
looking
takes
back.
down Waggy. Waggy is not anticipating it all, but now the help, the cavalry, comes in, and that net could be straight on the money. Bounces off a little to the side. Oh, it's actually the smoke, so go a bit too far, but Vasco goes down once again. Waggy lives to see potentially another day, because it's his second knock, so they do need to get it back up on his feet. Probably calling in some medics, trying to get them all sorted, and Paige has to figure, well, I mean, that clearly didn't work as planned. What do we do from here?
I'm actually surprised that the push wasn't that successful for the Finnish side here. And everyone's still alive. Wacky, that might be a bit close to that
that's scary.
to that
Scary.
Molotov, but he survived that. That's good.
It's a man who has seen a lot of battles through his time on Twitch and in the community. He has taken them both on himself and also been a victim of them. But this time around, no fear in his life, just sitting right next to the heat. And, well, getting himself into a better spot. Who's not in a good spot, though, is Andy, because he's caught off in the middle of the open, and the entirety of the Danish squad is over on the other side now.
It's true, not really any support for him. And he's right on... Oh, there the
Yeah,
first
he
shot's
gets
coming in. He's
spotted
right
too.
on the circle. He got spotted already. There's not much besides open field to run to. I know, he probably gets shots from the back and the front right now.
You would think so, because there's a lot of red colors up there that could potentially do some damage. But of course, it's going to be a question of whether that info comes across that there's a person proning around down here. Sunka goes down.
We saw Tractor laying next to an enemy team for hours.
Yeah, true. He was pretty much part of their team at some point, but
he was asking already for citizenship.
Yeah, exactly. He was like me. He was like what do you say, asylum. He was looking for asylum in the country. But the good thing, I guess, for Andy right now is that the circle went further west, so they're on the edge now, which means they'll probably keep on going. So if Andy's fortunate and nobody's looking that way, and he's not shooting,
Sorry, you saw that on the map. Diggory and his teammate are trapped right between. You see that jab, Diggory. They both die immediately. It seems like Denmark is getting caught up to this. No,
they're playing as one unit.
That's not what I'm working for. Catching up.
Yeah. They are moving as one unit, that's for sure. They're not splitting off that much. You can see Andy, he really wants to take the shots, but it's not just 3 guys that could potentially hear you off of this. If you get that first knock, you're also going to get another 15 because the entire enemy team is right next to you. And, well, I mean, he is just laying low.
I like that he managed to stay alive there, because that could be valuable intel.
I was going to say it's crucial info to his teammates, because you saw how many people, I mean, all jumping around over there, right? But it's not over yet. He's not in the clear just yet. And you see it right here. He can guide his entire force around a position according to the info that he's getting or giving. So look at their positioning. Ballin is alone, Paige and Andy as well. But they're gathering so much intel for their team, and they're splitting off, and they're sitting on solid 80% of the circle right now.
Interesting split on the Finnish side. I mean, with the team around Sanaki and Turbo Banani, they at least create a new angle, and they still have Paige and Pyro and Ballin sitting right next to them. I wonder if that was part of the idea anyway.
I don't think so, but it's working.
It's not really working.
Wacky with the VSS, expecting to stay hidden despite probably being people spotted from the area he's in. Unless if he's planning on doing a Andy in this game and just like finding somewhere to lay low by himself and call the shots and then eventually shoot a bit from a hidden position, then I don't think the VSS will go unnoticed if there's like constantly 15 players around him.
I wonder if they can sit there long enough to wait for the big fight to start and then just walk from behind in that front line.
I mean, Andy does have a suppressor too, so maybe that's like a captain thing.
Just imagine he's popping up when the fight really starts and everyone is caught up in shooting anyway, and he's just like tapping through it, like through the rope.
One thing that's confusing to me is that Danish people shot at Andy at one point from Pachinko, and it's as if nobody ever gave that info that there's a guy proning there.
Paige still laying there.
He's also just chilling.
All right.
And now they're getting, Denmark, move, Denmark. There's a lot of vehicles, and there's a big red circle on your faces.
Oh,
I know that that's a Danish color, but that's a wrong Danish color. We don't like that red circle. We don't only like the one saying Denmark won the round, not the one saying Denmark blew up. That's scary.
That's true. We saw that the red zone can take some casualties. That happens from time to time.
Yeah.
So everyone moving out again. It's, by the way, today really red zone is hitting them hard.
It is. They are, and the thing is, red zone isn't really circle dependent. It can go anywhere on the map. So even out in the blue, like miles out, where it's not going to affect anything. But well, yeah, these red circles has sure been a big factor.
But that means now that the Danish team is mostly outside of the circle, while Finland is in control of that entry there. Might be interesting later, because obviously it's now 2.5 minutes basically until blue moves in. So the question is, how long can the small Finnish group there hold them off?
Yeah, because Finland is pretty spread out, and I guess the only thing that's really oh, guys, word of advice: don't sit next to vehicles when there's a red zone, because you don't get knocked, you just blow up. Premi, perfect example right there, and thank you, observers, for spotting that. I'll send that clip to him when we're done. And laugh.
All right. So now they're moving down the circle there. Sampula all alone in his small compound, and he might face a huge group here of Danish soldiers floating the city.
3 soldiers have hit it out so far. Denmark hasn't been observant enough to spot them, so maybe Sampula can not hide it out, because Hannibro spotted him.
Quick one, Sampula out. Yeah. Obviously, he was probably just a spotter there.
I mean, it worked out. He got the info across. A lot of people are coming this way. But now the red zone is gone. They can continue that push on forward. And as you can see, I mean, for the most part, these Finnish players, they're scattered really thin. But they sure are doing a lot of damage down towards Denmark. Bjorn goes down as well.
Yeah, Bjorn, one of the more important players for, like, might be.
He was flanking a lot.
But he is
2 days
important to
ago.
Denmark, yeah. Right now in the current game plan, at least in the previous matches.
Yeah.
So that might hurt them a bit, but 26-27, still pretty even here between Finland and Denmark. Andy Pyro might take some shot at Carillion.
And he started shooting, despite him being outside the circle and somewhat alone in the open. But he is getting aggressive. He, of course, has the suppressor. And it seems to me like Carillion isn't quite aware of where he is. So the suppressor clearly coming in handy.
It seems like it worked for the Finnish, let's say, commando units in the back. Because they're now coming in and starting just bring some confusion to the Danish side.
And he gets himself knocked, not what you want to have happen. He does get finished off as well, so that's the captain down for Finland. Can the team build back up the morale of having lost their leader? Will someone else rise to the occasion, or will they crumble? Only time will tell. We have lost surprisingly many people considering this circle. But, of course, skirmishes have been had, and we're now down to just 52 alive.
Yeah, but still enough forces on both sides to take this a little bit longer. Not even 20 minutes. Wacky Jackie gets down the third time in this match.
Yeah, there's no rest coming in now.
Yeah, I think this is now the end. I mean, he had 3 tries now.
We don't give the free tries. I mean, that's, you know what, 3rd time's the charm and also the death. Hercules, if that's an 8, you're dead. Or you're not. You're doing damage.
Someone just took my car.
Yup. Boosie. Nate thrown towards the core, gets himself the knock in the other way. Though Bootless runs over a teammate. That's not too smart. We've seen surprisingly many of those things happen. Of course, there's a lot of teammates to hit, but never something you want to have happen at any point, really.
Yep. Oh, someone killed his own teammate. For now, I have to say, for how close they are, and you said that already, for how small the circle is, we still got a lot of people alive, and no bigger plan going on. No major push. No structured flank?
You say that, but I mean, looking at the circle and looking where Denmark has to push, there's not a whole lot to push to, and that's kind of the issue. They have to go out into the open, and all the shacks, all the compounds are full under Finnish control.
Yeah,
so it's going to be a tough run on out in the open, that's for sure.
But
yeah,
still,
getting some kills, though.
3 Finnish players died now.
Yeah.
So down the 23 advantage for Denmark. And Solenso, he's still there.
That's the thing, they have pushed Jet Fango and the guys underneath and around, so they can shoot up from the south towards these players. And Solenso goes down now as well. Not a whole lot more to it than that. No, they've secured themselves the western side at least. They're inside the circle, but as you can see, it's a long, long push in the open.
Yeah, this is a nightmare for the Danish squads here. So much to cover. It's like so many ways to be seen by the enemy while the enemy got the compounds. Look at
the vision.
Yeah, it's like they got everyone right in front of him. They're just shooting. He got 124 bullets, and he's willing to use all of them. Yeah,
just tapping away. Those smokes will fade eventually, and well, I mean, it's not going to make it any harder, that's for sure. A proper battlefield to be had here, open, and it's really, really hard to play from. Denmark, though, needs to make something of it. They need to get some good knocks and do something to get, well, any sort of cover they really can. You can see there's still a couple of Finnish players caught on the northern side, outside the circle, and now Raids are starting to chime in as well.
Yeah, trades coming in. Badass Matt Rex both fall for the nation. 17-18. Another one. Aiko Bacon gets caught by Coyote. Finishes him off. There's some smokes to cover teammates. They try to rest them. Goes Balak on the other side. That's a small hill for Denmark. At least something they might be able to work with, but Balak actually gets knocked before he even can do anything or even think of a plan here. Might be finished. Oh yeah, Clip is also down already. That smoke won't help them because 2 that are knocked can't rest them like each other. Does not work. Hamster
could
still
pull a hero play.
Oh yeah,
he's alive on the backside. He could do something, but they're outside the circle now by quite a margin, and they all ain't really gonna be easy. That's for sure.
Resting of February, 1 kill already, 2 for his squad of 8. Hamster falls. Jacobs actually gets killed. So Hamster is he was the only one that could pick them up.
Yeah.
And he is trapped and knocked. So I'm pretty sure that our 4 kills down there, that's done and dusted. We don't even talk about it anymore, but the rest is the beamy, beautiful grenade on Missy.
Oh, how the universe did he just survive that right on his feet? He got one off of it. Maybe that was the block that came in. Beanie is the only guy currently inside the circle for Denmark, and he has 1 HP and only bandages. Misa is shooting some teammates. Thank you for helping out there, but Misa also very much noticed that there was an opponent around the corner and took him out. And right now it's looking grim, to say the least, for Denmark.
Yeah, Missy, he nearly fell with that grenade, but then turned around, got the kill. Hence his probably dying here. Oh, there's someone. Hennibro is like, bro, I'll pick you up, help you out. Did not work. He got knocked. Muka just sitting in the back. I mean, he was one that was trapped between Danish players.
Yeah.
And now he just sits back, relaxes, and fires down there.
I mean, Misa is proning with a M249 and just spraying like a mad person over in the only direction. Look, it just sprayed through the smoke. I mean, there's not a whole lot more to it. 7 against 14. We've seen crazier things happen before, but with them pinned down to such a small area and only having smokes for cover, I do not see Denmark winning game number 1.
Yeah, I feel this one is over, at least from the Danish side. Finland just needs to clean up, and they did.
Yeah.
That was an easy finish here, out on the open. Better positioning, better reading probably of the circle. And that actually enables them to take the first map 14-0.
It was pretty similar to what we saw with the Turkish team, actually. How every time they made that smart rotation to the circle, shifted away again. Oh, we finally got into that circle. Oh, shifted away again. So unfortunate, they made the rotations work for as long as they could. But in the end, the Finnish firepower was too much for them to handle.
I'm not sure if Denmark survived that long because it was smart rotation, even with all the disadvantages, or Finland wasn't willing to commit to an attack yet.
That could also be. They didn't want to give
up
up
the
their
blaming
positions.
anyone, just
no,
thinking
I see
like,
what you're saying.
all right, it was a bit slow in like mid-game.
Yeah,
And there had been chances to really commit to a bigger fight, take out some people, but none of the sides actually went for it.
No, true. I mean, Finland had all the cover. Denmark tried to make a run on forward, but then when they realized there was no cover to take, they kind of just had to settle with their smokes and with them constantly be under fire. I mean, there's just a whole lot they could do.
Wacky Jackie, you saw him getting knocked early, and you saw that pretty often in that match, actually. He got knocked 3 times.
knocks for him. And, well, I mean, in the end, that would... I don't know if that would cause the loss, but indeed, the Danish team did lose it. But kudos to Finland. I mean, going out, taking all those small shacks, like just saying, you know what, we will not give anything to Denmark at any point in this one, and they didn't. So, great job.
I wouldn't give up if you're a Danish fan, because I'm sure that match actually proved that both teams could take a win. It's just those small decisions now that need to work and click for you to take a win. So we'll figure out on Erangel if it's a 2-0 for Finland or if this goes into a third map right after the break. Guess who's back? Back again. Guess who's back? Tell a friend. All right, okay, Toby doesn't really want to join me. Welcome, GLL Nations. We're all back again with the second match between Finland and Denmark. And it seems like Toby might lose his mind tonight because Denmark will lose 2-0.
Honestly, I'm just saying, when Denmark beat Sweden, because they did 2 days ago.
It's like they're holding on to that one win we saw here.
They did.
Yeah, they did.
They played with their food too. Sweden won the first game.
True. I give you that.
Got to build that morale just to crush it again afterwards. That's how
They played with their food.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see if Finnish
Maybe.
food is what they're hunting for tonight.
Reindeer?
No?
I think that's a big thing.
Reindeer?
Reindeer in Finland. When I've been to the airport in Helsinki once, and at the airport you could get pizza, pizza, but instead of kebab and all that stuff, you get reindeer meat on it. That's like their gourmet pizza in Finland. It was really good too, yeah.
Okay. That's unknown to me.
So if you happen to be in the airport in Helsinki, get some reindeer pizza. It's good. Toby approves.
There's now a new quality label. If it's approved by Toby. Also, what's also approved by Toby is Toby's tips. Tips by Toby.
Yes.
What is it? Toby's tips? Tips by Toby?
Tips by Toby.
Tips by
if you
Toby.
ever go to, if you just, like figure, should I move to Finland like full time for life, and you don't have a wife yet, you want to move to Finland, get a wife there, get a lightweight one, because in Finland there's a big thing in wife carrying competitions.
Oh,
So,
I saw that.
So
I
go
saw that.
for it. Unless if you're like a really big buff guy, go for a small one, because that'll just make it easier for you in the long run.
So, tips from Toby this
That
time
was
is
the second
about
tip.
getting a wife in Finland. We go to all those topics that are in your mind tonight.
It's scary.
Wednesday-
You have opened the box,
Wednesday night.
and yeah.
Wednesday night, we're helping you out with living tips for basically everything that you need in your life.
Yeah. I can keep going all day.
Yeah, you got another one?
I got plenty. I got plenty.
I don't hear yet that we have a game on our
Oh,
hands.
okay. So
Go
I'll
for it.
just keep going with tips from Toby.
Yep.
Tips from Toby. Number 3. Do you go 3
No.
like this, or do you go 3
No,
like this?
no.
What?
Oh, no, you repeated your previous one. So we are at 3.
So it is number 3.
Yeah,
right?
yeah, all right.
Tip number 3.
3.
If you ever want to do casting, do it
Don't
with us.
copy Toby.
Don't do it like me, because I'm clearly not having great success doing it.
Oh, come on.
No, if you
It's a
ever
lot
want
of
to
fun.
do casting, go for it. It's a lot of fun. We're having fun,
That's true.
and there's always more room for amazing people to join in on it.
That's true.
If you're a dedicated guy, if you like it,
We're willing to make some space in the middle so someone can sit in front of the
there's
photo.
plenty of room here.
Yeah.
Yeah, slim little one in the middle. There you go.
Slightly discriminating today, right?
Not discriminating.
slim
No, I'm just
guys,
saying there's
slim
not that
people.
much room here.
Nah, we can make that work.
We could probably make that work. A wide, like put a fisheye lens on the camera, make it a little wider.
Yeah. That's
Easy
that's
peasy.
easy. We can trick around with
Easy
optical stuff.
peasy.
And you get these seats, right? So it's like
Oh yeah. I'm starting to wonder.
when
Is it,
Denmark loses, that's exactly how we'll sit here and look at Toby like.
is it in Finland where they also do the thing where they go to the sauna and then they have like these sticks, like the branches, and then they sort of hit themselves with them because it opens the pores on the skin, so it's healing
Oh,
in
wait,
a way.
sauna is also a Swedish thing.
Oh, but you have a sauna everywhere.
Okay.
But I'm just wondering if it's a Norwegian or if it's a Finnish tradition where you like not beat yourself with a stick, because that sounds kind of weird. But you're like, it is Finnish. Okay, so thank you, production. Which you should never talk back to production, by
it's
the
like-
way, when you're casting.
It's like, oh, it's just like, and everyone was like, where did you hear that?
Oh, epiphany. It's Finnish. No, but I think that's a Finnish thing. And I have just stalled for long enough for us to get into the game.
There we go.
And what I have also done is force one of the Danish players to not join because he clearly thought what I was saying was complete and utter.
He's probably heading off
Crap.
to Finland to get a wife.
Oh, that could be. That could be. That could be. And, well, I mean, who's not heading off in that direction, at least right now? All these players. Because the plane has indeed taken to the sky. It's going somewhat north, so actually a military base. Not really within reach for the majority of them. At least they have to fly quite far. And, well, the question is going to be whether they'll want to commit to that or not.
Yes, it doesn't look like the chaos between red and blue that we saw on map 1 here and on match 1 in Arrow.
There are some scouts
in
the Danish team, Jet Fanko.
I like that Nicola and
that's actually a lot of them.
Rivery are over at
There's actually
Georgia
a
Pool.
lot of them. Full bridge control. That is I think that's the wagon jacket strategy here. I mean, he's a smart guy. We talked about him 2 days ago as well. He's a guy that will, like when he's streaming, when he's playing, always talk loudly to the viewers about, not loudly, but I always talk about the reason for everything he does, pretty much. And I think it's a pretty smart call for him to say we will take full control of the bridges, just in case, because we do need to win. The Finnish team, they bested us previously. Should it be a military circle? Then it'll go our way.
Is that a clear call now?
Well, I mean, it could potentially.
Do we have the circle? Yeah,
we do.
We do. Can we
have
see it?
East 130.
That
And,
will not be military.
Not military. They do have a lot of players in the middle, though. And they have a lot of players for very few compounds. I guess that's the main issue right now. There are some ones split in between us, we can see. And, well, this could be once again. We have yet to really see other teams kind of just jump in between one another. It's a little interesting that it happens twice in a row here.
Yeah, let's see if this time someone is willing to commit to an early
red zone.
fight. Yeah, that red zone
Pretty
spicy
much as soon
doggo.
as you land. By the way, you're getting blown up now.
Yeah, it's like, oh, you thought you might be close to loot?
Nope.
Probably not.
Not gonna happen.
I mean, spicy doggo, he's alone there. He can just hide for a little time. That's pretty easy. Rostock with the Ansky and Seneki. So they got themselves the loot over there. Also, Yasnaya is taken this time. And Georgia Pool. So basically all the big looting places are taken by the Finnish people.
And the Danish have committed to the military once more. But they have control of the bridge anyway. So it's not because it's like a big fear for them to have to go on the other side should the circle shift back towards the main island. Not the biggest fear at all. They do need to commit some people to hold the bridge, though, while others are looting, because they can't lose control of it. Then it could get very grim very quickly.
Okay, Spicy Doggo, he found a compound to hide in. That's good news for the Finnish side. He's still running around a bit nervously in circles, I got the feeling.
I mean, he is a dog. Dogs tend to not like explosions and fireworks and stuff. We used to have a dog that would hide in our shower cabinet, like on New Year's Eve, because he was so scared of the fireworks.
Yeah, well, I think nearly all doggos are.
Yeah, and this doggo is clearly not a big difference. Like big,
he's
difference.
the same.
He was very scared of the explosions, clearly.
Which is fine.
Yeah, it's okay. I can respect that. It is scary. I mean, it's not like you understand what's going on or anything. So hearing big booms out of nowhere, that would scare me as well.
Another red zone coming right onto Jabuzik. Seems like it's a Finnish problem this round. Like red zones on single players when they're all alone.
I mean, in all fairness, they have scattered each other as much as they could on the entire map. So odds are that they would get red zoned at some point, right? But for Jupsik, he's clearly all by himself in the prism. We saw a crazy ending in this area in the previous matchup between Turkey and the... Now I'm going to butcher it as well.
See, there is enough loot for a single soldier in here, that's for sure. Maybe not level 3, but we'll figure out. Still, kind of surprising to me, Henses and Maestro, they're all in between. They're like the Finnish sandwich, but still not even knock. Same for Herky. Look at Herky. He's chilling out there.
Yeah. He's just looting. No stress whatsoever. Mixon getting his way up towards his teammates as well. They're pretty much the well, he's the gatekeeper. He's the man to secure a safe passage for the teams or the players from Denmark that should want to rotate anywhere east of or northeast of Pochinki and go inside the circle. He's going to be the guy sitting around here and give that call that well, I mean, the passage is clear. I have made room for you, but I've right now at least also made room for a lot of Finnish players.
Let's see, I really want to see that early commitment now. That was what went wrong for me, at least, in the Danish approach on map 1. So let's see Herky. It might be the first one to take shots. Nope, not at all.
Always like that, right? He sits in the compound for 5 minutes. The second he runs outside, the vehicle comes by. Always the same.
Is it?
Yeah, it always happens. Just timing issues. It's unfortunate, but
all right.
Not a whole lot more to it.
If you say so.
If you insist. I mean, yeah. I gotta say, though, in all fairness, it's smart that it didn't shoot, because as you can see, the Finnish, they have taken their high ground position up by Jonathan and Doggo. So if he had started shooting, they'd be aware there was someone down there, and that could, well, most likely also mean that he would get killed off.
That's true, though. You don't want to give your position away too early. It's interesting that military is now fully taken by a Danish squad. Yeah. They also still got a quick look at the bridge. It seems like the general setup there looks good to me. It's just, if Finland would know, they would realize that they have way more manpower there.
They probably do know.
They could easily take out the Danish squads in between there.
Yeah, easily.
But obviously they don't know.
No, I mean, there's no reason to overcommit to anything early anyway. They just won themselves one round, so don't go over-aggressive and risking going into a map 3. That makes pretty good sense to me, I'd say.
Let's see. I really want that early fight. Come on, we got 6.5 minutes. And we got them this is definitely the closest match in terms of where they drop.
Yeah.
And still, they don't pick fights.
They're waiting. They're anticipating.
No, I want the fights now.
No, fight now. All right. It's not gonna happen. They're gonna keep tapping away, taking a few shots against one another, towards one another. But I think that's gonna be about it, at least until we see that new circle in just about 2 minutes' time. It's gonna be interesting to see whether it once again will benefit the Finns or if it will go in the way of the Danish. Because there's a chance. It's a very small one, but there is a chance that it could actually go back down towards the military island.
That would be a hard shift once again.
Yeah, exactly.
But I mean, they kind of gave up that system, right? You see it here. The Danish army is on the move.
I mean, it's still not far enough away that they could turn around and go back.
That is true. But they also still have 1.5 minutes.
Yeah.
Until they actually see the next circle.
Correct.
Now Palsy spotted them. I wanted to say that the squad in between the Finnish army from the Danish side, they probably picked up a lot of intel. That's why they moved now.
For sure.
But I think it wasn't a great idea since they came with cars and everything. Now the Finnish army is aware that enemies are around them and that they are pretty close.
I mean, shots were fired earlier as well, so the intel probably came in a little while ago, but now they know for sure that there is a lot more than they heard before, because they just heard, what, 3-4 vehicles come in, and they didn't see how many people were in them. So clearly, to some extent, cavalry has arrived.
Belsu laid down a lot of damage here onto Beamy. In that house right in front of him. Yeah, obviously had a great lined-up shot there through the windows.
Bloop, 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 bloop,
yeah, he is the first kill here. All right.
Yep.
So Mr. Flanker from Monday, he's already out of business here. Might be his last attempt, though. We know that Denmark is trailing by 1. If they lose, they're eliminated, and we see a Finnish general flying to Sweden.
Not good. And then I'm expecting a YouTube video from Wagger Jackie explaining why his team didn't live up to his expectations. Because I think Wagger Jackie has very high hopes for this Danish squad.
Yeah, it's a long way for them. They would need to win Erangel, and then they would need to take Vikendi as well.
We haven't seen these teams square up against Vikendi. I mean, the Danish team won against Sweden on Vikendi. So they have a 100% win rate in the playoffs. On Vikendi, that's a pretty good thing to go into. But
that's true.
But of course, whether it's been enough or not, we want to know what is enough, though, is this circle. Because holy Wagger Jagger moly, is that a horrible one. Especially if you're Danish, because there is a whole hell of a lot of opponents that have a chance to get a better position than you in this area.
I wonder if Denmark could rotate down to the beach, and as long as Finland still believes in them rotating up north, just walk along there. You remember? In one of the previous games, we saw a small squad walking around the shore and then flank them, help them out to create some disturbance, and then take that position.
Yeah. Finland can, quite honestly, take 3 compounds now that are down south here. You see where Sage is and the one south of that. Take those 2 and the antenna up there. If they have people on those 3 spots, Denmark cannot get inside this circle. Or they will be limited to sitting around I would say, percentage being around 10% of that circle. And then they would have everything going against them coming into the next ones. And they are actually, as you said here, Renee, going for the beach. They're hoping that they will beat the Finns to the race down towards the water. And at least for now, it seems like the Finnish players haven't gotten all the way down here. Fortunately for Denmark, they have figured that this will be their highway of choice. And a hell of a lot of vehicles making the run for it.
I wonder if they should at least leave a small group of like 3 in Milta. And they probably do. I see it on the map now. Tops and Beamy. I mean, they could also just walk. That might be the reason.
Now, but it makes sense to have a little bit of control.
Yeah, just to be sure that in case the circle stays there, they do not find themselves having all the Finnish players in Milta.
Exactly. That would make perfect sense. And anticipating that's what's going to happen too. Tuho is going to be the first line of offense down here in the southern compound. He took it just before the Danish players could get down and siege control of that area. So that's once again going to be a compound not really available. And 2, he's actually driving back now, probably realizing I could probably hold off, 1, 2, maybe 3 people coming in, but I heard 7 vehicles up there, so odds are that if I stick around for too much longer, it's going to be tricky.
Beautiful journey for Balak and Monks.
Yep.
They went onto a boat trip together. Beautiful suns shining on the water.
We're on a boat.
Very romantic for them.
We're on a boat. Yeah.
Is that a street? Oh, it wasn't.
It's a song.
Wait, there was a Lonely Island song about a boat as well.
Exactly.
Which one was that?
That was that one.
That was that one?
They just sing "I'm," but
I'm on a boat.
We.
No, that's not what.
Or either this there or it's from the Step Brothers movie. I don't remember.
Yeah,
they're also
I
I'm on a boat. No, that's the one. Boats and something else. That's another song.
Boats and something else.
Yeah, boats and yeah, something discriminating.
Ah, right.
Yeah, that's another one.
So
So let's not dig further into
yeah.
into that. Ballin obviously has the vision. The VSS squad has been lined up. I'm still missing it. Full ghillies, VSSs, like 5 guys flanking together on foot.
Yeah,
It's
but
super-
it's still
super
hard to actually
silent.
get all that loot. But Ballin taking some shots on Balak and Monks. They're coming
is
in.
gonna
That's
be
the
hard.
boat we saw previously. Why we had that discussion about songs about boats.
Yeah.
There are, by the way, a lot of them. I'm pretty sure that there are a lot of songs about boats.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Jet Fango and Hamster. They're setting up on the hill.
My bunny went over the ocean. That's also
Is that a boat song?
I mean, it's about the ocean. So
I mean, he does not sing my boat is over the ocean.
it's a boat song.
All right,
Yeah.
I'll give you that.
The entire Pirates of the
that's
Caribbean soundtrack is
fine.
a boat song.
I'm not sure if I can agree on that. But we got the Danish set up here in a half circle, close to the rich, close to the shore.
I'm really.
Question is now if that's enough. Becky Jackie, one of the
I mean,
first.
this is nothing new.
falls
Nothing
again.
new.
Yeah.
Nothing new. He's used to getting knocked at this point.
I mean, he will just be picked up and get knocked and picked up and get
He's
knocked.
the info. He's the info gatherer. What I'm looking at right now, though, is 7 players, or something similar to it, going for one shack. And not only are they going for the shack, but they're leaving their vehicles in a position, obviously, because there's no alternatives, to where all those wheels can be popped rather easily. And getting out from here again is going to be difficult because Finland has already started lining up players on the other side here.
Yeah, being that many in that small tower, especially since grenades are a thing, we know that. They're deadly.
I mean, it does make sense that they went here. It does make sense to win here because the circles did go somewhat south, so they want to prevent. One thing is they want to get it. But I don't think it's as much as they want to be there. It's more they don't want to have Finnish players to get to that spot because that could be difficult for Denmark to deal with. So smart that they take control, but it's also going to be really risky because as you can see, these Finnish players they are making their way down towards them. Ooh, Bjorn, that nade. Don't eat it.
They were trading nades, basically, but Bjorn got away from that one. Mizzy instead were catching it.
Yeah,
but Andy
yeah,
Pyro
yeah.
was standing right next to him.
Exactly,
I'm not
they're
sure
off the
if Bjorn didn't realize that Andy Pyro was there. There are also shots from the other side. Yupastik is shooting from the back. Oh, Bjorn in a bad position. He doesn't really know where to go because we're basically shots from everywhere.
Yeah.
Now, teaming up with Ronnie, though, maybe that helps so they can create a bit of line of fire, basically.
They could potentially hold some off. Jacob is coming in to help them as well. Krillian, too, is here. So they could do something from the ridge line. But the thing, of course, is that they do have people on their sides that can spot them. So they need some help from the players that are further down south that have that high ground advantage to apply some sort of pressure over towards Jupsik, over towards Tatis, over towards Ballin and those guys because they really are a sort of thorn in the heel for this group of Danish players that have made across the road.
Yeah, it's slightly chaotic setup here. This seems to be a matchup where it's not that much about proper rotation. It's more about, unless everyone is in the circle, we don't need to worry. Rest will kind of work.
I think what they're doing right now is just trying to take control of terrain. You see Soon trying to get around the corner, get some info. Not only that, but also trying to see if he can spot out some people. Decides to go back, realizes there were a lot of people over there. I'm glad they didn't see me, because I would have been dead. But take control so that the opponents can't get it. Like the bigger of a percentage of the circle you're sitting on, the better situation you're in.
That's the theory. We know that.
Yeah,
That's not always how it's been played out. But I liked how Jacob and Krillian, Jet Fango, they all pushed a bit further. That was the tower that we saw. And then now they're setting up around it, which basically forces the Finnish troops away. Because that was the only risk, that Finland kind of pushes them against the shore.
Yeah.
But now Denmark realized, all right, if we push back a bit, they might be willing to step back. because they're not so sure on if they can take us here or not.
You can compare this to when they play Risk, and then like before the game starts, they take turn to put one troop down. This is my lane. This is my lane. This is my lane. Right? And right now, that's what's happening, and they're setting themselves up for hopefully a good position. Ronnie and Bootless though, not a whole lot they could do. Down they go. Bootless was inside, and still managed to get himself finished off. Unfortunately, nobody could come down and rest him.
Sol takes some damage there behind that little hill. Bjorn's still alive. I like to see that because he was struggling a bit when he had to run over to his teammate. Spicy Doggo is just around the corner for Carillion. And this compound could be crucial because from there they can shoot over to that position.
And that's the thing, right? Denmark, they have to, I mean, they're relying on the teammates. You can see the positioning here from the teammates. They're relying so heavily on their teammates to be able to apply pressure and not allow for them to swoop around the sides. Because you can already see on the northeast side, up by Lowe's, the entire SJK team has, well, clearly moved in as a unit and try to apply, like, find a better angle, find a new angle from where they can apply the pressure down towards these guys.
Which is something I like. Adaptability, trying to stay in the game and not be static, because static kills.
And that's where I really want to know if it's Andy calling all these things, or if we sort of has delegated the roles of command out to smaller units and say, I will have the overall picture and the final say should it be needed. But we'll...
Look at Muka. Muka went all the way around the circle, but
Ghillie
alone.
suit too. Ghillie suit as well.
Wouldn't it be great with like 2, 3, at least a bit of...
Venus was the man holding the backside. Venus, that is now in the compound, was holding the entire south. Now he moved down, and if Muka can get up here, not only that, but if he can get teammates up here, and they can get the high ground on the compound, that is going to be Denmark completely pinned down.
See, that's enough. I like
this could be the MVP play right here.
Yeah, I like the approach. I'm just not sure if it's enough. With
he's alone. He is alone. But yeah, you see two guys coming over, Nikril and Fiberi.
I'm still, to be honest, and it might sound a bit bad for Denmark, but I'm still surprised that they're in this game because it was a circle that favored Finland, but they managed to push them that far away, and now they also knocked down 2 players.
It really
and I don't understand why Finland is actually running away. From what?
From 2 players shooting.
That's not enough to run away, man.
Might not. Come on. They might have to run it just about a short moment, because 20 seconds to go until that circle will pop. And it's going to be up to Muka. I mean, when will he start shooting? What is going to be the call for him to say, now I should... Oh, wait, Venus? Are you just shooting in the compound for fun? Or did you spot someone? Did you see someone above? Oh, he might just be shooting in the ground. He was shooting, but and it was in the direction of Muka, but I'm not sure if he's anticipating something. He's anticipating something up there now. It's just going to be a matter of timing, because he's clearly still the guy that's holding the back. He was before as well, but now he has the low ground, which means that he doesn't have that much vision. It could just be a matter of timing if he gets the spot Muka or not.
If Finland loses this, then it's solely down to them not finishing it earlier when they had Denmark at the shore. And because how they push back, it's just crazy.
Exactly. Right now, the issue for Denmark, too, is that, I mean, I guess the issue really for Muka is that he's in a position that's outside the circle. Now, he did get the knock on to Quist, but, and makes the runoff too. Smart play from him, but he needs to get back over on the other side because, well, he's outside the circle.
Yeah, it's not just that. Obviously, you want to make sure that if you kill someone like this, people might turn around, right?
Chris is going to be crazy confused by that one, too.
Switching position helps to keep your skies a bit longer and be more valuable to your team. And that's, once again, what we said. It might look like a bad idea, and you might lose your life, but you might win for your nation.
19, make that 20 minutes in, and we have lost 4 players. A lot of knocks has come in, but it's all been from a range at which you haven't really been able to get the finish off. So now, I think, with if not this circle, because we pretty much have everyone in already on this one, but that next shift, if it goes, it's pretty much a split on the road, right? Denmark has a little bit of a percentage, considering they have people on the northern side, but if the next circle goes north, Finland has a huge chance to win it 2-0. If it goes south, it's going to be more tricky than that.
But once again, they would actually have to commit to that.
Yeah,
we saw that seems not to be their biggest strength. Bacon, though, gets flushed, so it's down to 26 now.
Call. Maybe they're just playing the waiting game. They know that right now it's a 50-50. They don't want to dare anything yet. Maybe it's one of those things like we saw with Turkey. They will do the plays if they have to, but if they don't, then they'll just play safe.
See that's really what's happening here. Wacky Jackie gets knocked the second time.
Well,
Let's see if he,
no stress,
he
no
manages
worries. There's only
three
two.
times again, or
There's only
maybe even
two.
goes up to 4.
Yep, with plenty of knocks to be given to
Yeah.
to Waggy. He's obviously oh yeah, but he's kind of by himself.
So,
Buddy, who wants the golden medal? Who wants the MVP medal for his team?
yeah, we want to make sure that Wacky Jackie at least gets
who wants to
revived
rescue?
3 times. Go
Who
on.
wants to go down and rescue Waggy because he's by himself and now he goes down. He was on the mission with the VSS, and Mocha has been spotted now. Important intel for the team because he could be so damn dangerous. But in the end, he got a bit greedy with that push down the hill, and it cost him his life.
Yeah, that's true. Beamy finished him off. The question now is if that was enough to unsettle the Danish side
That's the thing,
and
right?
let them think about, oh, is someone else rotating around us?
Yeah, because now we just got to constantly watch. It's the same thing we saw with, I forgot his name, but the Boris, I think it was, on Sanok. Like, one guy went down, and all of a sudden, yeah, exactly, and all of a sudden, 20 people turn around to look that direction. Fortunately, seems like that the vision was a bit favored for Denmark, but this circle not favoring that much of the Danish side, that's for sure. They do have some trees they can hide around there, as you can see on your screen, but that push down the hill right here on a vision, it's inside the circle, but it is open, and I think for the most part, Denmark left their vehicles a little while back, so this is going to be a run on the foot. There are no vehicles.
They
there
don't
are
have
no vehicles
anything
at all.
with them anymore.
It's going to be running, and it's going to be in the open. It's going to be tricky as well, because they're already down by a round.
Yeah, 25-31. So Finland only lost 1 player. Sakura though
Yeah.
gets downed right now. They're standing a bit more compact on this on the Finnish side, which might mean that they can actually pick up targets earlier.
Now the entire brigade that they had sitting inside of Mills of Power, or small Mills of Power, has now come up to this ridge line here. Jacob, Bjorn, and Krillin, they've been alone for a long time with the assists from Jetfango and Hamster, sure, but they're potentially right now 5 against a team of, well, something around 25. So it's going to be a tricky one. There is one side flank on the east for the Finnish team, but other than that, it's going to be up to this entire unit of Danish players to somehow figure what the hell do we do from here.
Yeah, they got this small task force pretty close to most of the Finnish forces. That's at this hill. The problem is they can't really look over it to attack, since they would get shot down immediately. So right now they look like that looks like cool position, but it isn't. Yeah,
I mean, that's the thing.
they're
Right? You can
basically
only
just hiding.
Again, we talked about it with the Shack, 4 guys in it. Sure, it's great within the circle, but only 1 can peek. Same thing here. You can only have 3, 4, 5 guys peek around the corner at a time, right? Sure, they can come over, but it's not like you have to shoot one time, go back, and it's not like bows and arrows where you have one team go up, release the arrows, and then the next one comes up to shoot. Everyone has a chance to shoot, and
Sanaki,
Bjorn and Jacob, you're in for
got the chance here to
rough
find Bjorn, but Bjorn gets him instead. Now they're going up to the Swedish, to the Finnish forces. No Swedish one in here. Sanaki is out. Bjorn gets dropped, but it seems like Jakob gets away once again. But there's so many grenades coming in, and he gets knocked. So Krillian needs to step up now and rest his teammate if the Danish forces wants to have that squad still alive there.
Smokes on the, not water, but road, and they are making a full YOLO push on forward. Not a whole lot more to it. It is a kind of last resort thing for Denmark. They need to get some sort of ground, and now they're sending the push forward. Had they had vehicles, I'm sure they would have been well satisfied with that, but they need to take the run on foot.
Let's see if that might be the win for the Finnish forces. Will they win or will they bin? That's the problem here, but it looks good for them. 21 now on the side remaining of Denmark, and 30 still for Finland. You know, there's a saying: if you want to finish first, you have to finish first. In terms of
you have to finish
the match, and also Finland probably
exactly.
for Denmark here. But this looks like a tough challenge. Can they overcome not only that hill, but also the Finnish defense line here?
Yeah.
Obviously, Finland with the upper hand there. They got the compound still. They got crossfires. They got Fibbery. And in the back, look at that.
Yeah, and you talked about as well how if you want to push, do it when you have a chance. Here, because Mills of Power was shifted out, that entire they just got reinforced by half the units, right? So it's going to be so much harder for Denmark to make the push now. 16 against 30 with knocked players on their team, down half now, completely outnumbered, and Fike just makes the run on over. Not a scare in his life. He's solo sending it, saying, "Boys, I've got this one."
Yeah, I think hopes are kind of low right now for the Danish army.
Understandably so.
Yeah, Finland is now willing to commit to an attack, and they go in full attack mode. They really want to take the last remaining 13 Danish soldiers
not a whole lot more to it at this point, really. They got hard shifted away from with that circle crossing the road. And, well, I mean, they did what they could, but it's going to be a tough win if they want to take this one. Finland has lost 2 players so far. Denmark has lost 21, and Vasco now trying to send their wheel on forward, see if they can get some damage done. We see a lot of flare guns being
we see
shot.
basically everything happens on the kill feed now.
What is going
but no
on
one
here?
falls on the finish side. They're now down to 27. But Matrix was the last one, and that means bye-bye to Team Denmark as Finland takes it in a dominant fashion. They waited a bit longer than I thought was necessary.
Yeah.
They could have had them at the shore immediately on the previous circle, but in the end, that push showed complete domination over the Danish team here, and that means we'll lose another Nordic team. And we'll
Always
lose your
easy
team.
to win when you keep getting circles, right?
Oh, sure. The Danish caster has to step up with excuses for the Danish army.
Wacky.
Wacky.
I had so high hopes, man.
Yeah, at least he got knocked often. That's the thing. That's
That's a good
That's
thing,
the only good
or-
thing I can say here.
Okay.
It means that there were a lot of Danish players willing to wrestle.
That is true. Yep, they very much committed to getting him back on his feet for the most part, but in the end, it would not make any difference. If you want to finish first, you got to finish the finish first, and well, they did.
Yep, that did not work out for the Danish squad, which means Turkey will probably do that next, or try
Could
that
be,
next.
could be. It's going to be a good match, that's for sure.
Yeah,
a lot
but
of
I mean,
fragging power.
A team that's not willing to commit to any too early attack as they believe in their aim and their skills against a team that can take so many smart decisions and ideas even when in a disadvantage and rotate super quick. There are 2 completely different play styles hitting each other, and I like that.
Denmark out, Finland continues. So team number 2 to be represented here. Andy will be, I would assume at least, flying on the little plane, not too far, in all the way here, and get himself a final spot, potentially.
Final spot means that the Finnish captain will actually fly over to Sweden because top 4, they will be invited. The generals will be here in the studio and they will play live. And since that was the round of 8 we're in today, it also means we have our teams that actually go there. We know it's Turkey going there. We know it's Finland going there. On the other side of the bracket, it's either UK, Greece and Cyprus, or who else in there? Ooh.
You're the host, I'm just watching.
Since when I became the host, this is
No.
caster desk.
I'm the guy with the funny facts. You're the guy that has the real facts. I'm the one with the fake facts, you know?
Production also not really helping me out. Yo, there we go. Ukraine, Kazakhstan, UK,
I like the epiphany.
or Greece and Cyprus. Don't throw me off now. I was trying to finish. It was so nice the production got rescuing me and sent some help in. But that means we'll be back next week, 30th and 31st. Mark that on the calendar, big red X, whatever you need to do. Do a stamp, a star, cut out Toby's face and put that on your calendar because GLL will be back on Nations Royale 32 vs 32. We want to figure out which is the greatest nation in Europe when it comes to big chaotic fights on Erigel, Vikendi, Sanok, or maybe even Miramar.
Only time